Have you ever thought what it would be like to date your favorite K-pop idol or your favorite K-drama actor? Well, I'm here to tell you, don't. Hi guys, it's Sammy. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back to my channel. Nice to see you. How you doing? If you can't tell by the title of this video already, we are going to be talking about Thamepo, which is a GMMTV BL series that just finished airing on, I believe, last week.
I've been going through a depressive phase.
Just a little bit, because Thamepo to me was probably one of the best shows that just finished airing, or that just aired, period. And I knew at the moment they released that fucking pilot trailer, I knew it was going to be magical.
Maybe we roll so fast, maybe we got too high. Yeah, I do remember.
And so because it was so magical and I literally can't get over it, I'm here to talk about it with you guys, because I feel like with Thamepo there was a lot of freaking messages within the story that the directors and the actors portrayed so freaking well. So let's go. So I'm guessing for a lot of you guys who clicked on this video, you already know the premise of Thamepo, so I'm not really going to bore you with everything Thamepo is about. But I do want to talk about some of the things that Thamepo does discuss within the storyline of the show. That's very important as a K-pop fan slash a BL fan and who constantly consumes media and fandom culture. But just to give you a little bit of background of Thamepo, just in case you don't know, Thamepo really just follows the story of Po, who's kind of down on his luck. He doesn't have a job, he's unemployed, he just broke up with his boyfriend, who's been using him for the last 3 years. And it wasn't until he actually got a job at Warner Entertainment as a music video director for the upcoming document series for Mars, the boy group. And along while filming for the docu-series, he does realize that the group is not as tight-knit as it seems, and that there's internal trouble.
What? Damn!
And it wasn't until he talks to Tame, the leader of the group, that he kind of figure out what's going on and how the company's treating the group and where the group stands and everything like that. The story really just does follow Tame and Po trying to get the band back together on one footing, and then also the romantic relationship between Po and Tame. I really do think the romantic relationship between Po and Tame is really like one for the books. I mean, everything about them was cute. Everything. What the hell was that? Talking about Thamepo, I do feel like Thamepo does talk about a lot of topics within the show. And for me, one of the topics that it does do a really great discussion on is definitely the toxic fan culture. Now, this aspect of the show, if I'm being completely honest with you, it took me by surprise because I didn't really think they were going to do justice to it, but they did. The toxic fan culture and kind of discussion about it happens when Tame and Po had just started dating, and their relationship is on the threat of being exposed by the press, but instead the CEO decides to expose Pepper and Gam's relationship instead. Now, in turn, this causes a big uproar in the fandom, okay? I mean, the fans ape shit. They go fucking crazy, okay? The fans start freaking taking the posters off the wall, burning the merch, leaving the fandom, having hissy fits, literally start going crazy and cussing out everybody, and especially Pepper. Eventually, Pepper has to go to the conference and explain to people, like, you know what, no, we broke up, this and this and that and the third. And the worst part about it was that after he told that the fans and the press that he had broken up with his girlfriend, they were cheering in his face. They were like, yeah, he's broken up, he doesn't have a girlfriend.
พวกนี้แล้วก็มีแต่สเฟียร์นี่แหละครับ
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
This is concerning. You should never, ever, 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 ever be that involved in your fave's love life. Like, because Who are you? Another good example of how the show also kind of like allows us to hone in on one fan rather than the collective of fans was by Fern. And she's a big fan of Mars. Owns a whole entire like fan account, like a big fan account, like probably one of I think the biggest fan accounts for Mars. She had literally just shut out her account. She had shut it down. She was like, on hiatus, I'm done. One of the reasonings that Byfern had said that she did that was that she felt like Mars
would no longer love their fans as much as they love their girlfriends. And I'm like,
I mean, I feel like that's the point though. Like you're not
พวกเขาจะไม่ได้รักพวกกูเหมือนเดิมแล้วอะเมื่อก่อนพวกกูเคยเป็นทุกสิ่งทุกอย่างสำหรับเขาแต่จากนี้กูเริ่มไม่แน่ใจแล้วว่าสำหรับเขาอะ
Okay.
You're not their girlfriends, you're their fans. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like you weren't gonna have a chance by Fern. It was never gonna be you by Fern. Like, girl. It wasn't until Poe actually explained, like, no, they still love you as fans. It's just that they are also allowed to have a romantic life as well. And I think like that's the thing that the show was talking about a lot, was like how the toxic fan culture and the press and like knowing every single detail of the members' lives makes you feel like you are like this with them, you know? And so when something happens, whether it's a scandal, about a dating scandal or marriage or whatever the case may be, you are now all of a sudden feel like you're entitled to whatever relationship that you think you had with them. And it's like, no, you don't. I feel like this also happens a lot with K-pop when Dispatch release footage of their idols dating, actors dating, a whole bunch of K-pop scandals, everything like that. I feel like it's just very invasive of their privacy. And a good example of this actually happening in real life is aespa, Karina, and Lee Jae-wook. Now, this happened, I think, like last year, where Dispatch had released statements that Karina and Lee Jae-wook were dating. And when I tell you, the aespa fans went ape fucking shit. And the timeline is really actually fucking scary. So in February, Lee Jae-wook and Karina acknowledged their relationship after it had been reported by Dispatch that they were in one. By March, Karina had released a handwritten letter on her Instagram saying that she apologizes for dating and she hopes like the fans were like understanding and all of this stuff and And by April, the couple broke up. Now, why do you think this is? Because the fans went fucking crazy. This is actual shit that fucking happens. And it's toxic. This is a very toxic culture where you feel like you're, just because you're a fan of somebody, you deserve like an entitlement to every aspect of their life, and you don't. Just because these idols share their favorite color with you or their dog or where they were born and what time they were born, all of these things does not mean you get to know the intimate parts of their life when it comes to relationship and feel like you should have an opinion on it to the point where they have to break up. The reason why I'm comparing the Pepper and Gam relationship to Karina and Lee Jae-wook is because I feel like it's very, very similar. Because at the end of the day, the fans in Thamepo caused Pepper and Gam to break up because of how toxic they were being and how it was a very big hindrance to the group in their career at that point. And even with the whole Karina thing, do you know what the fans were doing? They were outraged, just like the fans in Thamepo. They had sent trucks in front of the SM building because that's the only thing the bitches over there know how to fucking do. I feel so bad for those truck drivers. They're probably like, damn. Every single time they pull up to the venue and they have to park on the side of the road, they're probably like, damn, I'm here again? Jesus. But the fans were saying things like, do you not get enough love from your fans? Why did you choose to betray your fans? Please apologize directly, otherwise you'll see declining album sales and empty concert seats. And what I really think bothered me the most was that the show was trying to kind of say like, oh, the fans are upset because they think the idols wouldn't love them anymore, or Mars wouldn't love them anymore because they now have a girlfriend. And it's like, no, y'all just thought y'all had a chance. And now that that chance is taken away from you, you feel some type of way. Yeah, bye, Fern. I'm looking at you, girl. I'm looking at you. However, how this was resolved in a way was that towards the end of the show, like at the end of the episode, because Byfriend was a really big fan of Pepper and that's why it affected her that much, she did end up realizing that she was one of the fans that ended up causing Pepper pain, because she was talking to Poe at the end of like the concert and she was saying like, oh, she's been looking at videos of Pepper and she notices that he isn't really smiling as much and he just seems to be a little more out of it than usual. And she was like, I was wondering if maybe my reaction and fans' reaction to being that upset about him dating someone that he clearly loved caused him some type of pain. And I'm like, well, duh.
You are a dumb hoe. Shut up.
Y'all literally caused him to break up with his girlfriend. Like, nobody's love life should be at risk because of their freaking job. And I feel like that's the thing. A lot of these people and fans in this mindset don't realize that this is a job, okay? This is how the bills get paid. This is how bitches eat. The next aspect of the show that I think the show does really well talking about is the entertainment industry and how
Evil.
corporations are, with our prime example, Pamika. Now, Pamika is literally the CEO of Warner and basically the reason behind a lot of Mars's problems. Like, I'm telling you, from the first episode we stepped in that bitch, that girl was like, listen, I'm trying to disband Mars. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's like, I don't want to hear nothing about nothing, okay? Because she was like, if Tame ain't getting on that plane to Korea, I don't want to hear it.
เกาหลีเขาอยากได้เธอ
ผมไม่ไป
Now, to me, Pamika represented a very mindedness of what a lot of entertainment companies, not even just the ones in K-pop, but a lot of entertainment companies who deal with musicians or artists in general kind of think like when it comes to business. I hate to say it, as always, we've all known this. It's very shitty. It's very shitty how she treats Mars. It's very frustrating to see because, like I had said, with the whole dating scandal thing, she tends to put everybody else's values at risk for Tame. She tends to make everybody less valuable than Tame because to her, Tame was the star. Tame was her moneymaker. Tame was her bank account, okay? Because she was trying to ship that boy off to Korea so fucking fast just so she can get that won. She was trying to get that check, okay? This was one of my favorite aspects of the show because it made it very clear who the villain was in the story, which was Pamika. Because it had put a emphasis on the entertainment industry and the hard truths of the industry as well. Like who's worth it and who's cut for it and who is going to hold more value over the other. Now, I have no problem with Pamika choosing to make money or doing things to make money. However, I do not think the way she went about treating Mars, treating Tame, was the correct way to go about it because she often treated them as commodities. And not only that, she had lied, manipulated, gaslighted the members multiple times just so that she could send Tame to Korea. And every single time she was like, Tame has to go to Korea, I'm sitting here like, what the fuck is in Korea?
I don't know, this bitch is stupid. Ugh.
Why is it always Korea? She said she wanted to create the future of T-pop, but you're shipping your boy off to Korea. What's going on in the homeland that you can't make the future of the future of T-pop in Thailand? I'm so confused. Anyways, I digress. Just to list a couple of things that she did in the show. She used Pepper and Gam's relationship as a cover-up for Tame and Poe's relationship, when instead, she could have just paid the press. Because at the end of the day, is it not your job to protect your artist underneath your company? She lied and told the members that they would maintain to be a group if they didn't all kill on the charts, which they did, but she still chose to disband the group. She told the members that they were all going to go to fucking Korea, then got on national television, sat up there and said, actually, Tame is the only one going to Korea and the rest of the members are gonna stay here and do whatever or disband or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, Mars, adios. Okay, that's what she fucking said. This bitch. She told Poe to break up with Tame if he wanted Mars to be successful. She sabotaged the rest of the members' schedules. If Tame was busy and the rest of the members had other things to do, oh best believe, baby, them schedules was fucking canceled just so that they can all join Tame on his schedule, because she was constantly sabotaging the members for Tame. I'm telling you, you would have thought she was a damn Saesang the way she was obsessed with that boy. And one of the things that really got to me was watching Pamika constantly do the most underhanded shit time after time after time after time again, was people still saying, oh, she's just doing her job as a CEO. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. I understand that as a CEO, you have to make money. However, you do not have to manipulate and gaslight and lie to your artist as much as she did. She had constantly said that Mars wasn't successful, they weren't popular enough, but I'm like, looking at that freaking concert in the last episode, that bitch was booked and busy.
We are proud to present the team of 5 astronauts.
So I'm sitting here confused, like, what does she mean? My main issue with Pamika really wasn't just that it was with her, like I didn't like her at all, but it was really what she represents in the K-pop industry and in the entertainment industry as a whole, where artists honestly do have little to no say about their career. You're making money off of them. I think the least you can do is kind of give them their own little input to their own career. Maybe I'm like thinking bubblegums and happiness about the whole thing, and that's probably the case, but at the end of the day, am I wrong to think so after watching what every single thing Mars went through just to prove to her that they're worthy? At the end of the day, she said it herself. She's like, my job is to protect the company's interest, and whatever brings the company the most benefit, I have to do it. Literally, her and every fucking CEO in the damn world. Capitalism. So this is probably one of my favorite aspects of the show, and it involves a conversation around success or a successful life. Which one would you choose? Now, I think this is honestly a discussion that had been happening throughout the whole entire period of the show. Thamepo really shows you that honestly in life, we chase success. We chase the idea of success. We chase the idea of what a successful career or what a successful life means, not to us, but to other people. One thing I believe Thamepo does really well is show what success should look like based on society, but also what success looks like if we choose our own version of it. Because at the end of the day, Tame has constantly chosen his own version of success, which I would say is a successful life, because Tame going to Korea is a great thing that would be a wonderful advancement for his career, or so I'm told by Miss Pamika, okay? But however, he doesn't want that, because he doesn't want to separate from Mars. He doesn't want to leave Poe. He wants to get the boy group back together. He wants to stay here and try to find his own path to a successful life rather than having one that's shoved down his throat. And I think the parts that really kind of hone in on this conversation really is through episodes 11 and 13. Or really does kick off when Poe breaks up with Tame. When Poe breaks up with Tame, it really isn't because he wants to. It is because Pamika, the CEO, you see how she's the root of every single problem that I've talked about so far? Anyways, Poe breaks up with Tame, not because he wants to, but because Pamika had told him so, because she says in her words, oh, the Korean entertainment would not like that if Poe is dating. They want him pure and clean. Okay.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Is that there is a certain image of success that we are talking about here in a societal term, and then also with Tame's success in the show. And this success is the certain image that is painted by Pamika, the CEO, for Tame. She views Tame's success as him being the future of T-pop, him being a great artist by joining the company overseas in Korea. She views him as this valuable asset. She views success for him in a completely different way that Tame views success for himself. The thing that Tame was going after was a successful life. I feel the moment that he really was like, I don't want to go to Korea, that was him choosing his own version of success. That wasn't him choosing the success that had been chosen for him, or the vision of success that had been chosen for him. And as for Poe, his realization of success, it showed a lot more, because for Poe, his success versus successful life was very, I think, personal for me, because Poe was the one who at the beginning of the show was unemployed and really didn't really see where his life was going, and because of that he kind of felt like he wasn't like there. But by the end of the show, he had achieved this version of success, which was becoming the music video director in Warner Entertainment, having this great corporate job, being able to fend for himself, being able to stand on his own, which was really important for him at the beginning of the show. But as we kind of got towards the end, it wasn't that important to him anymore. Poe literally says, when he's talking to the uncle at the suit shop, that even though I got the job I wanted, can stand on my own, don't even have to act awkward for buying 1 or 2 sandwiches, and receive praise for overcoming it all, I don't feel like I won anything. And the reason why he felt that way was because this dream life, you know, of achieving something like success makes it seem like it's valuable. But the thing is that Poe had to let go of the things that he found valuable to achieve success. He had to let go of Tame. He had to let go of Mars in an essence, really. Kind of achieve that success, you kind of start to realize, oh, I'm actually miserable because I can't even actually do the things that I like or do the things that I care about. At the end, I think the messaging behind that was just really powerful, because I'm currently going through that phase in my life right now where I'm starting to question, what does it mean to be successful, and what does it mean to have a successful life? Basically, what I'm saying is, you have to be able to define what success means to you, and not what other people tell you what success is. Because at the end of the show, both Tame and Poe come to an agreement that, honestly, I'd rather just be with you because that's my version of success. I'd rather just be with Mars and promote as a group who left their company, and we're probably starting from the bottom up in our own company, because I'd rather have things that are valuable to me that make my life successful, rather than the single image of success alone. I think that was at least one of the most important messagings within the show. Alright guys, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Honestly, I had a lot of trouble filming it because it is my first time making a video like this, and I tend to stutter a lot and things like that. I know I'm gonna have fun editing the fuck out of this one. If you did stick around to the end of this video, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, make sure you click that subscribe button if you want to talk about more BL shows or shows in general that we should be obsessed about together, okay? Also, don't forget to hit that like button as well. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Bye.